Welcome, guys, to the Ignite Coffee Break podcast, season 2. I am Weslley, your host for this season, and today we have a very interesting and complex subject to talk about, but it's something that we can go deeper and learn a lot. And today we're going to speak about mental health in the with focus in motherhood and postpartum struggles. So I'm sure this podcast is gonna be a blessing for all the women that are watching, and I'm sure for the guys as well. So today we're gonna uncover a bit this topic because uh, I believe being a mother, it's really like a new challenge and a new season for all the women. I can just imagine how it is like this season and this experience of becoming a mother, of giving birth to life. And this is a topic that not even always we have the chance to know more about it. How is it this experience, or even to get some advices or learn something about it beforehand, or if someone is passing through this right now. So I'm really happy to have the opportunity of having this podcast here today. And today we have here Jemima with us. She is a mother of two, so I'm sure she's gonna be the best to talk with us about that. So welcome, Jemima.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's really good to have you. I believe like you just have give birth to another little girl, right?
Yeah.
So if you maybe can just share a little bit with us, like how was for you uh your journey, like being mother the first time. How was it for you, like planning it, or how it happened for you
Mm-hmm.
first time, and maybe the second time, how was it for you?
Okay. Yeah. So I have two kids. My first one's David. He's 3 now, and Elizabeth. She's just turned 6 months old. So experience first time round was super super exciting. Good pregnancy. Everything's just so exciting when you have your first kid, right? And yeah, everything went so well with the pregnancy. The birth was pretty good as well. Both my births were unmedicated, so with nothing, and that was my choice. I wanted to do completely unmedicated, so full experience. Um, but yeah, it was. And then my second time round with Elizabeth was also a very good pregnancy. It was different. It was like you have so much experience from the first one, which really helps you for the second one. But you still learn a whole lot more. Like there's just so many changes. Like no pregnancy is the same, no experience is the same, and you just
Mm,
always think to yourself, okay, I'm gonna have so much. How am I gonna have so much more love for the second one? Because I already have so much love for the first one.
wow,
But you really do have it. You really do get all that love.
that's crazy.
Um, but yeah, what exactly do you want to know?
Hmm. Yeah, maybe you can share like about this subject of mental health for you. How
Okay.
was this like? Do you think you were prepared when it happened? You had like some kind of teachings or something. How did you really prepared mentally for
Mm-hmm.
the before, during, and after? Like this is something that you can even prepare for this, or like.
Yeah. So, one thing is that with our first kid, we were definitely ready. So we were waiting for our baby boy to come, which is also, first of all, it's a really good thing. Secondly,
It was really everything planned, everything.
yeah, planned, ready. You were getting settled down. We were both super happy. So we already like had a good environment.
How many years you already
We were
married?
married 2 years and a bit at that point.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we always planned to have kids after 2 years.
Okay, nice.
Always, well, we always thought, okay, after 2 years. But yeah, mentally, I mean, I read books. Okay, one book specifically that really prepared me for birth was called Supernatural Childbirth by Jackie Mietze. It's all about having a supernatural childbirth. A lot of women have had pain-free births. A lot of women have
Wow.
had really quick births. Like it's all about how the Holy Spirit and God can guide you in the birth experience. So that's like the birth.
Wow.
But what I took from that book as well is there was so many healing testimonies. There were so many great testimonies about God's love and how, and just like how you can do so much more with the Holy Spirit for birth, but also after birth, regarding healing especially. That really touched, that really like I took with me from that.
And you think like that these books that you read, it helped you in preparing like yourself mentally for what was coming?
Yeah,
Or
definitely, because it brought so much hope. It taught you a lot about hope and just kind of like focus on the joy, focus on the love of everything. Because okay, after having a baby, especially after having the first one, there's a lot of shock, there's a lot of surprise, sleep deprivation. Like you just like you don't sleep much anymore. Everything's new, especially if you're breastfeeding. Everything's completely new. That's one of the hardest parts, actually, the breastfeeding part. Adaptation for mom, for baby, and everything. But that book was one of the greatest things that really prepared me. And even like during birth, I was actually healed of something in my hip. And I had pains, chronic pains, like in my hips for years before birth, and after birth it was just gone.
no way.
That was something pretty cool. Yeah. Till today I don't have it at all anymore. It was pretty cool. I can't explain what happened, but that happened.
Wow, that's amazing.
But yeah, I mean, that book was really amazing. But yeah, I mean, after you give birth, like there's just so much that happens, so many new things, and it's really, really important to as a couple to stay really as a team, to stay united, to be helpful to each other. I mean, my husband Arston, he works a lot, so obviously I knew that, for example, I would do a lot of nights on my own to help him sleep a bit more. Of course he helped as well, but like knowing like where your balance is to make sure no one is over exhausted or like over like tired in all senses, mentally, emotionally, and like has no time for themselves and stuff. And therefore having support outside is also super important too. Friends or if close family can be around, like all of that. I had a lot of that, especially first time round. And it was really helpful, especially emotional support from outside and stuff, you know.
Did you face like when you say between you and Ariston, did you face, how was for you guys like this thing of, oh, until here was like just us, and all of the sudden there is like this little human being here that needs 100% of attention? There was like a challenge in that.
Yeah,
were you like, maybe
definitely.
I don't know, it's more for the woman or for the man as well, like between you?
For me, it was a very natural thing that my baby came and now my baby's here, and I gave pretty much all my attention to him. Arison definitely felt it, like, okay, wow, her time shifted, you know. Therefore, like finding like a way, okay, how can we somehow have time for ourselves? But the most important thing I truly learned actually was, how can we have time for ourselves with baby here? So it's not like, okay, how can we have someone watch him or put him aside a little bit? No. It's like, how can we still continue growing, and how can we continue with our little baby here? Everything has to shift. It has to shift. But finding joy in that shift is really, really crucial. Finding really that joy to do it, because it's hard, you know, when you keep like having hard nights, one night after another, like you just can't catch up on the sleep. You think to yourself, oh my word, how am I gonna like, you know, get back to myself? But it's kind of like you have to make the choice too. And by choice I mean like, okay, I am tired, but I'm not gonna get in a bad mood. I'm gonna still be kind even if I'm exhausted, because I mean we're not perfect. And well,
I can imagine that
the first time round it was first time round there's lots of shocks and surprises, and here, I mean, you're over the moon in love with your kid. You're over the moon about it, but there are lots of surprises, and you can't be prepared for all that. Like you can hear about all the things you want to hear about,
read whatever,
but when you're in it is when you're in it. Like that's when you're truly in it. What's funny is that second time round I thought like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna deal with two? How's it going to be? How am I going to manage? It's actually way easier with two than it was with one.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely prayed a lot in my second pregnancy. I prayed a lot, you know, because from what I've seen, many of the second kids in the family are usually the most bouncy ones, active and stuff.
Okay.
She's so calm.
Oh.
She's so calm and so happy and so like chill.
Yeah.
And I prayed that it wouldn't be too crazy in the beginning. I really like seriously prayed about it.
Wow.
Not like saying I wanted to be like this or like that. I just really prayed for this time to be joyful, to not be as challenging as one hears about and stuff. And yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I feel like it's much better than I even prayed about, but it's easier in one way because experience helps a lot.
Yeah, you already
So you
know.
kind of know a lot. Of course, the second child is very different. Having two is different than one, but somehow it's just, in so many ways, it's just easier. Like, I can actually do so much more having two than when I had one. Of course, David goes to school during the day, so it's not like I'm 100% with
How
both.
old was he when she was born? When she was...
2 and 7 months. So he started school the week after she was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was already in creche a little bit before, but yeah, anyway, so yeah, it's just so fascinating. Like, I really thank God every day. Like, somehow experience makes a huge difference. You kind of are prepared in some ways, and there's no great shock like in the first one. It's just, yeah, this was my experience.
Yeah.
Huh? And I've
That's
spoken to a few other moms, and a few other moms that have two as well, also in like a similar age gap. A lot of them have the same experience too. Like, experience helps a lot.
And
Yeah.
and you had like someone helping you, like, especially like in the first time, like you had someone that guided you, like counseled you or something like that in the first time with this kind of struggles.
So like
Or-
for like the mental part of it.
Yeah, like helping you how to navigate that or something, or was like more you, Ariston, and
So I definitely have some close friends or some other young moms that I knew people that I knew I could that were close to me, people that were in kind of the same stage of life in this time. Definitely I spoke to a lot of other young moms, and like for the littlest thing you'd like text about it or
Yeah.
call about it and stuff. So I definitely had that. And yeah, it was
Did it
great.
help
It was
it?
really, really great. I definitely had that. Second time round as well. Young moms really connect, huh? Young moms, we connect and we understand each other a lot, and like even like some of the young moms here at church as well, like we get each other, like, oh, you had a hard night, oh, I get it, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Or when the kid is sick, oh, it's hard when your baby is sick, because it's like nobody sleeps.
Yeah.
Nobody, it's like so hard and you're heartbroken and everything. But yeah,
Well-
there are struggles. And honestly, the second time round, I'm dealing with it much better than I did the first time. First time, it's like, with the shock of things, it's like you think to yourself, okay, this is really hard. And you think to yourself, okay, sometimes I had it like, okay, I'm just alone at this. I'm home all day to myself. And I kind of like let myself feel worse. I caught myself in that, definitely. It's just like everything is so new that you think, okay, I have to handle this, but I just feel like I just can't handle enough for myself. That happened at times. I never had the postpartum depression. I never had that. I always told myself, okay, I'm not going to allow myself to get into that no matter what. Because I heard so many like stories and testimonies of people that went through that. But I thought, no, I'm not going to let myself get to that. If I ever get close, like thinking, okay, this is too hard for too long and I'm like really like lonely or something, I'll say something to someone. Because
oh, that's cool. So you paid
yeah,
attention to that,
I
and
did.
Before like
Yeah.
praying and
Yeah,
position yourself.
I
To...
did. Exactly. I
Oh, that's
positioned
cool.
myself. I really told myself I don't want to ever get there because I just heard so many hard stories and I'm like, no, I don't want that.
For those that are listening, like that doesn't know, can you just quickly explain what is the postpartum depression? What it happens
So-
to the woman normally?
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't really speak of experience of it,
Mm-hmm.
but from what I know, of course, someone who's been through it can explain this much better. But what I've understood is that a lot of, like, obviously after having a kid, it can get really hard. Hormones can be all over the place.
Yeah.
They actually are all over the place. Our moods can be all over the place. And a lot of the root of postpartum depression is kind of loneliness, if I understood correctly. Loneliness and like everything all together in one box, and then you feel depressed. And I guess there's different stages of how deep it
Okay.
can be.
Yep.
I won't really mention how deep. I mean, I've heard some really like hard
Okay.
stories, but yeah, kind of when the loneliness takes over and you feel really deep bad and
Mm-hmm.
like you just don't want to care about very much anymore, and like some people like kind of like, I don't know,
Yeah.
think really like thoughts go very very bad and
It's
deep.
crazy. Yeah.
And it's sad, you know, and it's tough, and it's not like because you're a
Yeah.
Christian it can't happen to you.
Yeah.
No, it's really about like, that's why I say like community. I've spoken to people like, if you need help, reach out. If you need someone to talk to, reach out. If you are having a hard time right now, reach out, talk to someone. It's like so many of us sometimes think, okay, I don't want to bother anyone. Like, okay, I
Yeah.
have no food, I have no time to cook, I'm exhausted. No, 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 no. I feel bad to ask someone to bring me something. Like, no, don't feel bad. Reach out. Reach out. There will be so many people that will be happy to help.
Yeah.
So many people that will be
Yeah.
happy just to like do something for you, but sometimes people don't always know. And
You think that that will be like the key for like people
yeah,
that maybe first timers and all? To
yeah,
always remind
yeah.
to reach out.
And also a reminder to those who don't have kids and you have friends or family that are having a baby first
True.
time,
Yeah.
reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out to
Offer
them.
help. Yeah.
Not just one time, not just a few times, but over time.
Yeah.
There's
That's
in the
good.
first year of having a baby, there's so many different stages of a baby's development. Like they change all the time. They grow so fast in the first year. And there's a lot of hard things, like one thing after another. Like newborn stage is one thing, and then you have like the starting to crawl stage, and then you have the teething stage, and then you have like the where the baby just wants to be held all the time sometimes, and it's just you get tired of many things, you know. And a lot of the times, like for me, like physical tiredness affected my mental tiredness
Yeah.
even more,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And yeah, so community is a massive thing. I like prevention, to prevent things from getting worse. Like have those close people around you
Yeah.
that you really trust, and that you're like, okay, if I'm tired, I can call this person to come for a couple hours to watch my kid for me,
Yeah.
to help me, to do something in the house if that's what I need,
Take
or
a
to bring
shower.
food if
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I understand, you know, for example, my husband, he works, he has his companies, he needs to be out. I never expected him to be home for 2 months, like parental leave. He had to be out. So I'm like, okay, what's my solution? I know my mom came. My mom helped me in the very beginning, the first month with.
She lives here in Belgium.
No, she lives in Vienna.
Okay.
So she would come and she would help in the beginning and kind of be that support that I needed physically to help. But that physical support helped a lot, the mental as well. You know? A lot of times it's linked, and then there's hormones and stuff, and yeah. But
And the whole like maybe for the mans that are watching it,
yeah.
how like Ariston helped you in this process, like making it easier for you, or making like protecting or being there, or how was like this process from like a man's perspective, like how he helped you in this process?
So whenever he works during the day, he has to, and I'm happy that he is. But when he came home, he was always present at home.
He will not like being calls and stuff.
Yeah, of course it happens sometimes. You know, when you have a business, I mean, that's normal. But he really tried his best to not bring work home. And he tried to be helpful with whatever he could at home. The biggest help to me was always like, okay, now you hold baby, carry baby, you rock baby to sleep when you can. All of those things that just allowed me to take care of myself. Because when the baby is born, the mom takes care of the baby, but then the mother needs to be taken care of too. Yeah. And in my case, I was able to take care of myself when my baby was either being taken care of in that moment. Of course, sometimes, you know, preparing food, I would say that was maybe not Arison's strength. He can cook, but that was not the strength. I would always have someone else to make food, either from the family or, he can cook, but it doesn't happen too much. But yeah, just kind of support. It really depends. Like some people would prefer food, cleaning the house, being present in the house, or it's just different things. But those things are all like, because you know, when one thing is not taken care of, then it's like, oh, and the next thing's not taken care of, oh, and then those things can just load up. Like you want to prevent things from just loading up, and then you'll burst. You just want to prevent that. Like that's how I think. Like I just want to prevent that from happening. But yeah, so being present and just helping with whatever is need. Like, I knew what I needed, and so I told my husband, I
Yeah,
need help in this
please.
area. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the most important thing is also like with starting a family with kids, like be a really good team. Focus on being a good team. It's very easy to let emotions and hormones and sleep deprivation take over, and then you're just like, it's very easy to let that happen. But focus on being a team. Being a team is how you get the best amount of stuff done. Like, and it's the best for everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and your
Yeah, I
home.
think that's something like
Yeah.
being married in general.
Yeah.
There is already this thing of like being this
Yeah.
team, helping each other. And
Yeah.
in this situation, I think it's just need 100% of that.
Yeah. And you know, like some people have different love languages. Like, yeah, you just gotta know who you're married to. Know who you're married to and know what their strengths are and weaknesses, let's say, as well, because we do have flaws and stuff too. Just know who you're married to. He should know who he's married to, and she knows who she's married to. Know what the other one's capable of too. And there is a lot of growth in that period. Oh man, amount of growth, like a lot of growth. Yeah, has to happen. So much change. But
as a couple, as a person.
yeah. So much general change in your entire environment at home. Like you have a whole new human being now there that you love to bits. But there's a lot of change around it. Good change that has to happen when you accommodate like a new baby now. But yeah, you grow to a different stage in your marriage as well, no?
Can you give like maybe some examples of like what was the things that you see like this completely shifted after the baby?
Personally, so for example, one of my love languages is quality time, and me and him almost had no time together anymore. So that was lacking. And then I would express it in a certain way that maybe didn't come across correctly because I was either tired or everything was just like, you know, I just needed time to myself eventually. And so sometimes miscommunication happened. And yeah, just like learning how to, like this took over time, how to communicate in a good way to make sure emotions don't take over if you're too tired. I say tired a lot because in the beginning you're tired.
Yeah,
tired.
that's the main.
Yeah, it's like no baby sleeps through the night. So, but yeah, just really like growth, like because you have to learn how to communicate in a whole nother way where challenges can be around like feelings and emotions and stuff, and hormones for us moms and stuff, and how to navigate where you work better as a team and work on like letting love really be in the center of this and just not let the emotions take over. That's a whole nother challenge that pops up because yeah, it can get hard. It just can get hard.
So you live that season like knowing more how to communicate better, even if your emotion it's very strong. And
yeah, emotions, hormones, yeah, just a lot is going on around. So how to navigate and grow in it, but navigate in a good way, in a positive way, in a growing way, in a loving way, more and more and more. Yeah, I would say that.
the tiredness, you think if you could like pick like the biggest challenge of this season, it's would be like the tiredness, or you faced something else that was like this was really challenging for me, or there's something else? Because the tiredness and this sleep thingy, like not being
I would say like the tiredness kind of can affect things. I mean, today I'm totally used to it. Like I'm adapted to it. Like I still don't sleep through the night. Now I have a 6-month-old, right? So I still don't sleep through the night. I've totally adapted to it, so it's not my issue anymore. Huh? I can still have like a really rough night. Wake up, I'm like, okay, we move forward with our day. We just continue. I just do my whole day normal. Yeah, I've adapted to it completely because I had to. But other challenges, I had more challenges in my first one. Let me think. This would be like a yeah, you know, the main one for me is really like, because okay, you have natural instincts to raise your kid. You have motherly instincts, you have knowledge, you gain knowledge and stuff on how to raise a kid. So okay, there's challenges there, but it's not like the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is how to keep the environment in your home loving, peaceful, joyful, despite the challenges. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like how to move everything forward in
a
growing beautiful, loving way without letting the challenges get, because you have challenges. You cannot avoid challenges. You cannot 100% avoid, like, prevent all challenges from happening. You cannot prevent a hard night, but how do you still move forward despite it? And yeah, that was one of the biggest things for me. One of the biggest things for me, because
And it is to keep like the environment. How usually you would do that? Like to keep it's more like because everything is good between you and Ariston, and you're like moving and being able to have quality time, and then the baby as well. Or there was like something else that
Well,
you would do to keep everything.
I had to keep remind myself to choose, because sometimes you don't feel like it, to really choose joy and to choose to really make those choices.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Because you can feel a certain way, but you can't be led by how you feel.
Oh, that's good.
You just can't. A lot of times when you're led by, let's say, oh, I feel like this, I feel like that, it usually doesn't end up too well.
Yeah.
Like, but you have to make the choice. Okay, for example, nowadays, if I have rough nights, I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna choose to continue my day. I'm gonna choose to put a smile on, even if it's not easy, even if I'm like making a choice. It's never, I'm not perfect at it, but I'm making a choice, and you see a massive difference.
Change.
Yeah.
Yeah. You believe that in this thing that I heard once, that the woman, she's capable of like shifting the atmosphere of the house. So if it's like you're saying, like if you every morning like wake up and all that, I'm so not in the mood, don't talk to me, the whole house would feel that. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, my husband would say, oh yeah, right now. Yes, absolutely.
I think that's important for the woman to be aware of that, because I think sometimes they just don't, and then they maybe can ask, oh, but why my husband's like, why my kids are like that as well. Okay.
Absolutely. So that's where teamwork also comes in place, because teamwork, I mean, like in the marriage as well, because it's like, okay, women can definitely shift the atmosphere. We do also shift atmospheres in our home when things, however, like, let's say, for example, in my experience, quality time is my thing. If I'm not getting a lot of quality time, let's say because it's busy at the business, a lot of things happening with the kids, a lot of things in our schedule and whatnot, and then I kind of like feel at one point, okay, we're not spending time together. I see it, like we see it happen. We see it. It's like it shows, like it just shows. And whatever love language you have, for example, like it shows, right? And so then we think, okay, well, we've kind of been slacking in this area. Let's work on this area. So sometimes it's like, okay, we have to definitely as women be really aware of how we're doing, but also for the men as well to know, okay, how can I support my woman, my wife to be better, to be, how can I support her, what are her needs right now, and vice versa too. It's really, that's a marriage thing. That's
nice.
But Aris and I, we've talked a lot about these things, and obviously after having kids, you're faced with all of that. Not gonna lie, you're really faced with all that. But yeah, we've learned that really making the choice, okay, I want to smile, I want to spend time, or for him, it's like he needs acts of service. Let's say, for example, okay, I'm gonna do more of these things that he enjoys. Wow, it makes a huge difference. And then I find joy in seeing him happy of how I've served him. Like learning how to do that. That's sometimes amazing. You're like, what? You got so happy about that?
Yeah.
Me and Iris are opposites, complete opposites. I'm like, you got happy about that? Really? And vice versa, Like the simplest things can really bring joy, and those things shift atmospheres in homes too.
That's nice.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying know who you're married to. Before having kids, know who you're married to. Get to know your spouse.
Mean like getting to know each other really
it helps
deeply.
So much more after having kids too. Also because of like mentally speaking, like sometimes you just think, I wish my spouse would just read my mind. Like I need this. I'm feeling like just read my mind. No one can read your mind.
That doesn't exist.
Get to know each other really well. Okay, you're not reading my mind. Sometimes I tell Anderson, can you just please read between the lines?
Yeah.
I'm saying this, but I mean something else. And then he takes time. He's like, oh, yeah, I know it's not easy, but
And I think this is important maybe to just go a little bit more on that, because here at Ignite we're experiencing like this wave of engagement, and I
Yeah,
include myself.
like you guys.
And how you would like maybe give some tips for like couples that just got married, and for them really be intentional in that area of getting to know each other in the first years if they're planning on having kids and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. How was it for you? Like
Mm-hmm.
how you would advise
Yeah.
a new couple in doing that?
Like intentional, what you said is really important. Be really intentional, and also intentional in getting to know each other, but like it's not doesn't mean always spend alone time together. Like get to know each other in groups. Like be around people doesn't mean be isolated and be alone. Be around people, serve together, really get to know each other deeply, have deep conversations,
Mm-hmm.
do stuff like really just like enjoy life together to the fullest. And when
Mm.
challenges come, really try to aim to navigate things well together, because honestly, in your marriage, it will be about how to face challenges more than what the challenges are about.
Mm.
It's really about how you're going to face it together, more
Mm-hmm.
about what it is really truly about.
Yeah.
We don't know, I don't know what you're going to face in life,
Yeah.
what's going to come your way, but it's about how you manage it together and how you really face it together.
Mm.
It's going to grow you stronger together or tear things down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So know who the other one is, but also keep growing in who you are. Huh?
Mm.
Keep focus,
Yeah.
grow. Make sure you are growing as an
Yeah.
individual, and
Oh,
support
that's
the other
good.
person in growing as an individual.
That's good.
Be the support for the other person. Huh?
That's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, I think sometimes we just speak about this thing of like together having the deeper conversations, like
Yeah.
the inner healing stuff, like
Yeah. Yeah.
everything, but
Identity is a
not
huge
not
thing.
much about the person itself. But
You
that's
gotta
cool. Yeah.
really keep growing in your own identity. Huh? It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's not a selfish thing. It's a real needed thing, because you're gonna both need to be rooted together, but be rooted individually. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
just have to be. Huh?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's
Be
good.
supportive. Just be, and also be supportive in things. Huh?
Yeah.
And speak wisely and communicate well. I say that because it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Emotions, hormones, all that stuff with women, especially after having baby. But yeah, yeah.
And then as we are closing, like, do you like to just give maybe a general advice for women that are maybe they're passing through the season, or they are planning to pass through these, maybe they're preparing themselves to have baby and all?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to
Mm-hmm.
just like give a piece of advice for them?
Well, as you were saying, that the first thing came to my mind is make sure you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Make mama friends.
Mm-hmm.
Connect
Mm-hmm.
with other women. Honestly, women need women. Your husband will always be there. Your husband's your husband, and he has his strengths as well. But women need women as well.
Mm.
You need your friends. You need your other mama friends that understand you literally in the
Yeah.
same place. Like you
Mm-hmm.
need people that also understand you and can connect with you, and just kind of like sometimes you can just know, okay, I know what you need. You're having a hard time, you had a hard night, your baby's sick, I just kind of let me reach out, let me bring you some food,
Mm-hmm.
let me send you encouragement, let me pray with you, let me just
Wow.
really make sure you're not alone.
Yeah.
Make friends and be a support system to others that are
Yeah.
going through that, and make sure you have your friends, and don't be afraid to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hesitate to reach out, because community is so important.
That's good.
Community is so important also for like physical health
Mm-hmm.
and therefore mental health.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
definitely.
great.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah.
I hope this really be encouragement for those that are listen to it,
Yeah.
because I think this is something that as a church, I don't know, maybe you can tell more, but I think
Mhm.
like it's not something that we used to speak in church
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
to
yeah,
cultivate that.
Mhm.
But I think
Yeah.
with this podcast, maybe we'll like
Yeah.
encourage more people to ask others to
Yeah.
can I help you, or even for
Yeah.
women like to ask
Yeah.
more help and be more together.
Or just be present, like just checking in.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
think something, if anyone ever pops into your mind, just reach out.
Yeah.
You know? And some women love like words of affirmation, like just speak with them. Someone acts of service, someone appreciate it more. Like just make sure You are the person that makes sure someone's not alone in the
Yeah.
moment. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
just
great.
think like that. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing
Thank
with
you.
us the treasures of this season and everything that you have been learning. Thank you so much. I
Thank
believe it's gonna
you.
be a blessing for all those that are listening to. I know that there is a lot of new couples this year. Gonna have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of weddings here in
Yeah,
Ignite.
that's
I
great.
believe it's gonna be a really blessing for all those
Mm-hmm.
that already have kids now and those that are planning in the future.
Yeah,
But even just like as a couple, learning to know each other was really nice.
yeah,
Even for me, I learned a lot.
yeah.
So
Great.
thank you so much for being here,
Thank you as well.
and you guys that are watching to this or hearing to this on Spotify, don't don't forget to like the video and to share this with people that you know that it's in the season or they are planning on it. I'm sure they're gonna learn a lot. And thank you so much. Bye bye.